community, we've come up with some great strategies for 2021. But 2022, this channel or these channels that we're seeing, the ascending ones on the indices, they just make a lot of sense. And I think that's something that's really exciting because it gives us not only target levels, but also support levels that we've been finding and clear defined areas, which is all about what we're trying to do here with TA, to do with where the bulls and the bears are fighting it out and who is actually winning. The S&P 500 or the SPY here is exactly the same thing. We've got our top end trend line for the resistances and the potential profit, and we've got our bottom one here, which has been bounced off. And it gets better than that because of course we also have the weekly S1 pivot that just got hit. That's the monthly S1 pivot. We do use those in the S&P 500, and the weekly 20 exponential, another fantastic moving indicator that we've used quite effectively for the last couple of years to find key supports. Now with the SPY, what's going on in the actual market? Do we expect this thing to continue up? Well, you would think with the current price action, there's certainly a good case for it. There may be some little bit of resistance around this 470 zone just because that was previous resistance. If it does breach past there, where do we go? You would think 480 and most likely above, maybe into the top of the trend line around that 490 zone. So the next 24 hours will be pretty important. We suspected the bullish action at this stage still looks quite bullish. There's no real signs of weakness just yet in the markets, but we will be kind of wary of this resistance because you can't ignore the fact that it did struggle with this zone many times before. So here is where day traders will be watching, depending on what occurs during the next session, whether we get a little lightning bolt down, we may even come test this and then bounce. We don't know that yet. And if we breach it, happy days for bulls, because that's going to be a big deal. Let's take a look at the options. So this is what we reported on in the previous video, the last day. 460 had huge amounts of puts on it. Check out how much of an outlier that put wall was. That was really supporting price this week. And as we know with a put wall, the market tends to not want to get underneath it and not expire underneath it and pay out these outlying areas. Now we've done another report still for the 14th, and look at the changes of what's happened. People have closed their puts on the 460 strike, or at least it's become a lesser strike. And there's been a huge increase here in the buy side as well. So the market will most likely stay between these two sides here, coming into the end of the week, coming into all of this big economic data, and you would not think that it's able to breach this round 480, I believe, or 470. I think it's 480 or 475. Have a look at Yahoo options if you want to see the strike here. And it's unlikely to breach that zone easily because that's where a huge amount of calls are. If this continues to move up and we continue to see a strengthening in this strike, even more reason that the market will most likely not want to go above that come the Friday expiration on the 14th. Let's move over to the crypto world before we discuss news. And the crypto world's looking way better, guys. Ethereum up there around that 3250. We know this is the key resistance. It looks like we might have put in a stop hunt down here. So this was a bit of a quick sell-off that got underneath the 3,000 target, would have stopped out a lot of people, fully reversed it, and it's actually what you want to see in these accumulation bases. If we then breach past 3250 and we start the participation, which could be really great, the next stop for something like Ethereum is going to be this 3600 zone. I mean, here it is, bam, 3600, support. That's where you expect the resistance. That'd be cool. Let's check out Ethereum in the next couple of hours today. Same thing for Bitcoin. And this is the one that really rides the market. 46,000 would be the participation. Previous supports becoming resistance. 43K, as we reported in the previous sessions. That's the key resistance here. We've closed the daily on it. Stop hunt? Question mark. I think so. Look how sneaky they were. Long leg doji. Kind of long leg doji, bullish hammer. Let's get past 43K. Then we can start testing 46. And that would be a bullish signal here for the markets and especially for Bitcoin. And when you look at the 2-hour chart, it becomes more clear how good this accumulation base currently is. Let's see if it can get past 43K though. I hope it can. And it's always worthwhile checking out BTC shorts. Remember, you can type that in here and you'll notice that there is short positions, or there are short positions being currently put in the market. It's not at a concerning level yet. But if the whales continue to add shorts, we do need to pay attention to that. So watch BTC shorts over the next couple of days. If this thing just goes skyrocketing like it's done before, we need to pay attention to that, because each time it's skyrocketed, bad things have ended up happening to Bitcoin. So we must watch this level. Still very low, but if it got up here somehow and Bitcoin hadn't crashed yet or hadn't fallen off, we better be paying attention to that. In terms of calendar events, we've got core CPI coming out, of course, 8:30 a.m. just before the market open on Wednesday. Then we've got PPI data coming out Thursday. And on top of that, retail sales, core retail sales, 8:30 a.m. New York time on Friday. A lot of news coming out. This stuff can, of course, affect the market, though in general, most of these news events tend to have a very small effect, and it's the pack of all of them together that have that overwhelming effect. The market will price in a lot ahead of the time. It has to be a very different number from what the expectation is. So guys, if you enjoyed today's video, please remember to subscribe, smash that like button, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.